All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining our Zoom with Nick Dawkins. As always, please raise your hand and I'll unmute you. We'll start with Rich Garcella.
Good morning, Nick. Thanks for doing this.
Good morning, Rich. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. Hey, Nick, just how do you plan on celebrating Thanksgiving, and what are you most thankful for?
Great question. Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm gonna answer this question, but you have to answer it too after I give you my answer.
Okay.
My mom is coming up. My family's coming up for Thanksgiving on Thursday. I'm also going to Coach Troutwine's house, but they're coming up, and we're gonna have a meal in my college apartment. So that's I'm excited for that. That'll be the first year we're doing that, and I'm thankful for all the opportunities that have been presented, not only to me but to all the people that I love, and how they've been able to react and respond to the opportunities that's been given to them. And I'm thankful for just life itself and the people that I've been blessed to be surrounded by here in this facility at home, just in my life. And I'm so appreciative for it. Now you have to give me your answer. What are you thankful for, and how are you celebrating Thanksgiving?
Well, I'm going to celebrate it with my son and his wife. We are my wife and I, and his in-laws. And I'm most thankful for family, just like you. We've been through a few things over the last few years, and I'm most thankful for my wife and my two kids.
That's what both. Hey, all the adversity. That's what most you guys together, right? That's what family is.
Correct.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you, Nick.
We'll go to Tyler Donahue.
Thanks, Paul. That's hard to follow up. I did want to get into the Nolan Rucci situation that you guys are dealing with Anthony Donka not available. Nick, I hope you're doing well. But how do you feel about the ability to move forward, and what has Nolan's consistent game experience this season done to kind of help the confidence level right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not the best situation when Don goes down and such like that. But us as offensive line, I know Coach Trower including all of us, we have utmost confidence in Nolan and his preparation, and really it started with how he attacked this training camp and being able to play both left, right, and also playing guard versus Illinois this year. He's just an adaptable guy, and he adapts and overcomes any sort of circumstance that we throw his way. So I had the utmost confidence in him, how he's been attacking practice. He's been preparing like he's been a starter since the beginning of the season, coming and asking questions, getting extra film work in. So I had the most confidence in him that he'll do his job and handle his piece on the offensive line going through the rest of the season.
Daniel Gallen.
Okay. Appreciate your time this morning, Nick.
Thank you too.
Yeah, we've seen a more fiery Drew on the field this year, but he says that he has always kind of been that person behind the scenes, and we're just getting to see him be that. When Drew first got here, when was the first time you saw him kind of show that emotion that we might be seeing now?
Yeah, I mean, when he first got here, it was training. It was training camp. What I remember at least, training camp, and we had so I was a two and Drew was a two behind Cliff at that time, and that was my quarterback when we did practice reps and such, and it was a third down period in camp, and it was twos versus ones, and it was Jair Brown came up, and Drew made a call like a protection call, and Jair was like, "That's the wrong call." And Drew just put on like, watch this, and you usually don't see that too much confidence like that out of freshmen, especially when an upperclassman, a leader and captain like Tig, talking trash and I'm leaving some context out for the media, but when you have a freshman that's able to combat a senior like that and have confidence in their decision and their talking and be competitive, it's always awesome to see. And they were like, okay, yeah, this guy, he's not gonna go like that. He's a competitor. He's a battle. He's a warrior.
Mark Wogenrich.
Nick, how are you? I hope your mom's making dessert on
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, me too. I
Just
appreciate
bring
that.
some of them Edge desserts with her. The Tyler Ward a couple of weeks ago, we asked him about this. Coach Franklin mentioned this too, that he was telling you guys the night before a game that, to paraphrase, he wasn't sure whether he was going to play at Penn State when he was young as a freshman coming in. What message or how did you receive that message? How did that resonate with you that a guy of his caliber felt reluctant, not reluctant, but he felt maybe that he might not be able to play?
Huge. I mean, Tyler Warren's one of my best friends, and we kind of went through that patch together. We both our freshman year, Obviously, there were a lot of circumstances going on during 2020. It was COVID. It was a lot of changes to college football and then to life. And when stuff like that happens, the last thing you really are thinking about is overall development. It's easy to get distracted. And I remember it was a conversation, and it's funny because Tyler Warren said that, but Olu Fashanu as well. We all had a conversation in my apartment. Like, man, are we going to be able to play here? Are we going to be able to do, what's asked of us? Are we going to be able to be guys here? And that's obviously always the goal. Is like we want to come here and dominate and win national championship at Penn State. But when you're a freshman and you're on the development squad and you're going against guys, and at that time we're going against Odafe Owe, you're going against Shaka Tony, you're going against PJ Mustipher, going against Derek Tangelo, you're going against good players on a development squad, and you're a freshman and you're getting beat, you're getting whooped. You're not thinking, oh, I'm going to be a contributor here. You're thinking, man, what's wrong with me? Why am I not getting my job done? Why am I not playing at an elite level? Will I ever be able to play at that? So surprising? No, because we all talked about it. We all kind of felt that way. It's always like a freshman. Some freshmen are able to come in and play right away. And there are expectations and exceptions to that. But a lot of us, we have to climb the ladder and get up to where we got to where we had to be at. And I think it wasn't that surprising because that's how, a lot of us feel and felt. But I'm glad, and it's no surprise that he was able to develop and be the caliber player he is now, given all the intangibles he has and the tangibles and the ability and the mindset that he had going through all the way up to our 5th year now.
Maxwell.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Doing well. How you doing, Max?
I'm great. Thanks for your time as always. I know you kind of already talked about what you're thankful for this Thanksgiving, but senior day this weekend as well. It kind of piggybacks off of the question of not being sure you'd ever play here. You've stuck through the process. You've become a starter this season, had a lot of praise for the job you've done. So where's your head at heading into senior day? What could maybe be your last game in Beaver Stadium?
For me, it's to be honest, all the emotions that kind of go with senior day, I kind of experienced them last year because that was a little more of a senior day for me because that was my 4th year. I was just graduating. A lot of my guys that was there last year too, like guys I came in with and guys that finished up and stuff like that. So that initial like, oh wow, here we are, like this is where we come to. That kind of like ended for me. For me, it's just like Maryland, obviously like 1-0 and such like that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like a lot of my guys that are playing their last games for sure. And done and that I came in with, it's going to be tough to see them depart. And but at the same time, like this is something that a lot of us like. This is the good ending at the end of the day. Like when you come in with guys and you end at Penn State with guys, like you're just so appreciative that like we all went through, and a lot of like 5th year guys and like 4th year guys and such. But like this, the good ending is like you got your degree. You played and you went through all your college career at Penn State. You didn't leave, didn't waver, didn't have to, and all that. That's the appreciation I have for it. It's like those guys came in with, those are guys leaving with.
Andrew Clay.
Nick, I wanted to ask you about your dad real quick. What role did he play inspiring you to play football, and how much do you kind of channel his energy every day?
Yeah, my dad didn't play a single role in me playing football. He actually did not want me to play football at all because of obviously the violent nature of the sport. I think a lot of parents have that thought for their kids. But for me, it was something that he also didn't want me to play basketball because he knew that I would get compared to him in every single aspect of my game. And even so, I still kind of get compared to him, and I get asked about him every like interview or media session about my dad, even though he played basketball. And I get it. He's a larger than life figure and such. So, obviously he was a huge inspiration for me in life, just to be a great man and to be a leader in whatever I chose to do. But in terms of football, and he was not he liked to watch football. We watched a lot of football, but playing football, he was not big on me playing football. And really neither was my mom until, scholarships started coming through and it started taking care of a lot of, so we didn't have to worry about it anymore. So, now it's easy to, like, my mom is the #1 super fan of Penn State football, going to war on Facebook comments of people and stuff. So now it's a little different. But, yeah, my dad wasn't huge on football or really basketball. He just wanted me to do something that I love to do. And I'm glad that it ended up being football.
Time for 2 more. Seth Engel.
Hey, Nick, you talked about kind of working your way up into, an increased role. JB Nelson's a guy, played junior college and He was in the starting lineup at points last year and now has a chance, to play a lot, and whatever the future holds this season. What has he done to put himself in this position, and what should we know about him moving forward?
Yeah, JB is uber talented. JB has just a natural punch and recovery that like I've really never seen from an offensive lineman before. And he can just get out of tricky situations, and it's very impressive to see. And I think the biggest thing about JB is his mentality when taking on blocks and engaging people is he's going to dominate people. Which I think sometimes guys think, what's my job? What's my full work? Can I just get my job done and get my hat where it needs to be at and stuff? But I mean, he's nasty. I mean, he's going out there to, to just straight move people out of the way, which is it's very impressive to see. And I think you've seen clips of it. And I mean, think about last year, first play of the season versus West Virginia, basically blocking two guys. It opened up that hole for Nick Singleton on that counter scheme. He's an impressive player. He can make big plays. So I'm excited to see, what he has. We have some packages where obviously he's in and stuff like that, but excited to see, how his role may change, given, circumstances in the offensive line.
Last question, Joe Smeltzer.
Hey, Nick, happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for the time.
Thank you. You too, Joe.
Yep, thank you. So, kind of following off that, Javen's a guy that's a little younger than JB, came into Penn State with a lot of expectations due to star ratings and what he did at Wyoming, but he was a guy that Coach Franklin mentioned as somebody else that could see an increased role with Anthony being out. So, with him being a second-year player and us not seeing a ton of Javen on the field yet, what have you seen from him this year that gives you the confidence that he could step up if need be?
Yeah, Javen has been developing so well this year. He's been getting better every single day. And I his mentality too. I mean, me and him had a conversation about, the sophomore woes and stuff because, I'm a little bit of a different situation because I didn't really play at all till even game situation. Like, I know you said you guys haven't seen much of Javen Williams, but like I didn't play at all, like offensive snaps, like my junior year. So I've even sophomore on the offensive line is so different because it's so hard to play as a young guy on the offensive line. You have like rare exceptions like Cooper Cousins and Landon Tengwall and stuff like that, but it's so hard to get on the field as a freshman. So for obviously for Bam, he's been getting so much better this year, and you can see flashes of great offensive line play from him, both at guard and at tackle. He can do both. He's a swing guy, and I think with his mentality, with the circumstances that are arising from him and the opportunity that's presenting itself, I'm excited to see him capitalize on that and take advantage and play some good football for us.